Did you hear what Chris Martin just did? Because once you find out, you'll never look at his relationship with Dakota Johnson the same way again. The world thought it was over between them. That they had parted ways gracefully after nearly 8 years together. But what if we told you Chris might not be as ready to let go as he seems? What if, behind the carefully curated smiles and cold silence, a quiet desperation was building, a longing that couldn't be contained anymore? You're about to hear the story no one saw coming. Because yes, sources are now revealing that Chris Martin has been trying to contact Dakota, secretly. And the way he's doing it? It's making fans and insiders question everything about their breakup. Before we dive deeper into the emotional roller coaster unfolding behind closed doors, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. We're just getting started, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. At first glance, the split between Chris Martin and Dakota Johnson seemed mutual. Quiet. Respectful. Just two stars choosing different paths. They were rarely in the spotlight together to begin with, so a low-key breakup didn't feel out of character. But then, just weeks after the news broke, Dakota appeared relaxed and glowing, seen in Italy with Kate Hudson, sailing around Ibiza, enjoying sunsets and laughter with friends, and even joining Tom Brady on a yacht. Her energy? Free. Unbothered. A woman reclaiming her time. But while Dakota was out embracing her new chapter, sources close to Chris began whispering a very different narrative. One marked by absence, confusion, and, most surprisingly, regret. Insiders claim Chris has been struggling with the aftermath of their breakup. Not just in the usual post-breakup sense, but in a deeply personal way. A way that blindsided even those closest to him. Friends say he's been quieter than usual during rehearsals. Less focused. Restless. He's known to be introspective, sensitive, even, but this felt different. This felt like a man trying to keep something from unraveling. And then came the whispers. That Chris wasn't just missing Dakota, he was trying to reach her. Privately. Discreetly. Through messages. Late at night. Now, here's where things get really interesting. According to multiple reports, Chris has sent at least 3 messages to Dakota since their split. But he hasn't gone through her public number or the typical channels. One message was allegedly passed along through a mutual friend. Another? Sent via a private email that only a handful of people know about. And the third? The most cryptic one yet. A handwritten letter, yes, a physical letter, that he reportedly asked his assistant to deliver to Dakota's team while she was in Europe. Why would someone like Chris Martin, globally famous, surrounded by managers and publicists, go to such great lengths to avoid public attention? That's what fans are asking. And the answer might be as emotional as it is heartbreaking. Chris and Dakota have always been intensely private. But what many don't realize is just how deep their bond ran. Chris once said in an interview that he admired Dakota for her ability to see through noise, that she kept him grounded. She wasn't just his partner, she was his peace. Their relationship was built on quiet rituals, cooking at home, walks by the beach, and long, soul-bearing conversations far away from cameras. Losing that kind of connection? It's not something you move on from overnight. Especially not when your life has been filled with chaos and fame for over 2 decades, and then, there's the music. Since the breakup, Coldplay fans have noticed something strange. During recent rehearsals and sound checks, Chris has been playing snippets of unreleased songs, ballads that sound eerily personal. One track, in particular, caught attention for its lyrics. I see you in the silence / even when the world moves loud / I wish I'd said more when I had you / but I'm just a shadow now. The band hasn't confirmed the title or the release date, but those who've heard it are convinced it's about Dakota. And if that's true, then these secret messages aren't just texts or emails. They're music. They're confessions, coded in chords. But here's the twist, sources close to Dakota say she hasn't responded. At least, not directly. Despite the emotional weight of Chris's attempts, she's been focused on her own evolution. After years of being part of a relationship that required constant emotional balancing, Dakota has chosen herself. She's producing, directing, exploring characters that reflect her voice, not just someone else's vision. Her upcoming film Verity is already generating massive buzz, and she's even stepping behind the camera for the first time in a deeply personal project about women on the autism spectrum. For Dakota, this is more than a career pivot, it's an identity rebirth. Now, you might be wondering, if Dakota's truly done, why hasn't she made a public statement? Why not shut down the speculation and move on completely? That's where things get murky. Some say she's protecting Chris's privacy. Others suggest that maybe, just maybe, she's not ready to slam that door shut. Because even when love ends, some connections linger. Quietly. Mysteriously. Without resolution. So where does this leave us now? Chris Martin, international rock star, father, and heart-on-his-sleeve romantic, is sending messages across the void. And Dakota Johnson, free-spirited and fiercely independent, is choosing silence. Are these messages acts of desperation? Of hope? Or are they the final echoes of a love that couldn't survive the weight of two colliding worlds? Before we reveal what fans spotted in Chris Martin's latest Instagram post, a clue that might prove he's still waiting for a sign from Dakota, take a second to drop a comment below. Do you think Dakota should respond? Or is Chris holding on to something that's already gone? We want to hear your take, alright. Let's talk about that post. Just days ago, Chris shared a photo from backstage, a blurry shot of a piano and a single candle flickering on top. No caption. No hashtags. But if you zoom in, yes, fans zoomed in, there's something scrawled on the sheet music beside the keys. 3 words, 4D, always. Now, could it be a coincidence? Possibly. But with the rumor swirling, and with everything we've uncovered, it's hard to believe that wasn't intentional. Chris isn't reckless. Every post is curated. And this one? It felt like a whisper to someone who once made the noise bearable. Whether these attempts will lead to a reunion or just fade into silence remains to be seen. But one thing's clear, this breakup is far from over. Because when love runs deep, its echo doesn't disappear overnight. It lingers. In songs. In silence. And sometimes, in secret messages no one was supposed to see. If you felt the emotion in this story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more high-profile reveals and deep dives into the untold sides of your favorite stars. And let us know in the comments, if you were Dakota, would you answer that letter? Until next time, stay curious.